All right, everyone, we're going to get started. Thank you for joining us for our last webinar in our Winter 2020 webinar series. I'm just going to go through some housekeeping items. My name is Gina Catanazzo, and I am the Educational Technology Committee representative at the college. Let me just mute the microphone. Okay. The Virtual Lunch and Learn webinar series is brought to you by the ETC Committee. The ETC is comprised of members from all 24 colleges in Ontario, Canada. The sharing of ideas, best practices, and teaching and learning strategies related to the use of technologies inside and outside of the classroom is a central characteristic of the committee and the inspiration for this webinar series. We are on our last webinar, so I'll skip that slide. Want to facilitate a webinar. We are taking a break over the summer term, but we are now accepting volunteers for the fall 2020 term. So to submit a proposal, visit our website, and I will paste all the links in the chat window after I'm done speaking. Want to keep up to date with our webinars, want to join our mailing list, stay informed about our webinars as well as opportunities to facilitate and information about our Advancing Learning Conference. Visit this link to sign up for that mailing list. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to introduce Humera from Sheridan College, facilitating this webinar today on accessible Word documents made simple.
Hi, Gina. Thank you very much. I will turn on my camera for a little bit, and after that, it is just going to the work on our Word document. And it is a very on. Thank you very much. First of all, I was not expecting so many people to be attending because, of course, we are on, this the working from home kind of situation where some people don't have access to internet. I was scared myself when we started. And last week, I was telling Gina that I don't even want to do it because I'm not sure whether my internet will take the load and, maybe if it breaks, what will happen. But thankfully, it is working fine. And Gina has been very helpful. But having said that, if I make any mistake or the internet breaks or something, just please excuse me. I have prepared many documents for you. So Gina will be very kindly posting the links for us. She said she will be posting the links for all of you, because I was thinking that had it been the regular office situation, I would have asked one of my CTL colleagues to help me. So sorry, I talked too much and I forgot about telling you who I am and what I do. My name is Humera Siddiqui, and I am with Sheridan College, CTL. I am an e-learning designer, and I teach also. My department is involved in creating accessible online content, and a very trained, very highly qualified people. I'm very blessed to be working there. And I see many names from Sheridan College. So thank you very much for joining us, joining me today here. And for everyone else also, hope whatever your expectations are for today, I will try my best to meet them. So I will turn off my camera now and we will just jump in, and I will provide, Gina, will you be doing the link? Will you be providing the link for the first document, that is the accessible document?
Yes, I can do that. The one with errors?
The one with errors. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I am going to be showing you a document with errors. So here is a document, excuse me. So here is a document with errors. You guys can see it, right? This document is with errors. Now we are going to try to make it accessible. And then I have, I did not keep a very long document because I thought that it is just an hour-long webinar, and I didn't want to take too much time of you guys. So you guys can hear me well, right? Hajina, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. So I know you guys are all very much into accessibility, and already somebody has told you this idea already, that accessibility and having accessible documents is the necessity of the day. But let me just tell you, I like starting my stuff with stories. So my classes normally they start with a story. So let me tell you a story, which is a true story. In 1957, US Army had a problem. So we'll talk about that problem first. So what was the problem? They got very good flying machines. We call them aeroplanes. And they had very good pilots. It was just after the Second World War, and they were very, very highly trained. But they were getting very bad results from good machines and good pilots. They were getting bad results. So they blamed the pilots first, then they blamed the technology, and then they blamed the instructors. They were very like they were thinking that it is because of the instructors, it is because of the technology that they're getting all these bad results. But basically, this was not the problem of the technology, or it was not the problem of the pilots. It was something else. Just imagine if you are in a situation where your decisions are made in split seconds, and each decision can be life or death decision, and you know that if you cannot reach something, you will not be able to do the job the way you were supposed to. What would you do? You would simply resort to an easier thing. So they eventually did research in 1960, and they concluded that there is no normal in the pilots. Somebody had long neck, somebody had a shorter height, somebody had a longer arm. So the cockpits which were designed were not designed for to suit each and every person. And especially those who were coming at the end of the spectrum, either they were too tall or too short, they could not use the equipment in a nicer way or in the way which was desired. So they told the companies that they will not buy the plane if it will not be designed for extremes. the companies were very angry at. They said, why should we be designing our cockpit for too tall or too short people? So they were saying that they don't want to have something like that designed, and but US Army was like, okay, you have to do it, otherwise we are not going to buy your airplanes. And of course they wanted to sell their planes, so they put in extra effort and extra research into creating a cockpit which would fit everyone. And you know what? It is because of this, and it is because of this effort and this extra kind of commitment which US Army had and the manufacturers had, that we today have car seats which are adjustable. Otherwise, the car seats were not adjustable. So this is, of course, part of the universal design as well. So I am going to, but universal design is, of course, slightly more than this. We are just talking about the accessibility. Somebody has the mic not on mute. Could you please? Yes, thank you so much. So let's check this document at hand. This looks like a good document. It has headings, it has apparently a title which is bigger than the headings. It has a heading and then this is probably heading 1, this is heading 2. Then it is going into heading 4, I guess. Then it has a table which looks very nice because it has a header row apparently, and it has a column which is highlighted, and I can understand the information which is somebody is trying to provide here, that how many books a certain class has read. Then there are a bullet numbered list, and then there is a bulleted list. Then there is a detailed list. Hyperlinks are there. And then some information is there. So we are going to see how we can make this a better document and what is happening, what are the mistakes in it. So normally I don't like just doing slides, but just for the sake of it, let's go to the presentation. So this is our skills training workshop, which I do at Sheridan College as well. And I try to keep it very simple. And we have already talked about why we should think about accessibility, and especially today, in today's, everybody's working from home, we are all teaching online. So how important is accessibility today? See, can you see this part here? No, because it is not accessible. The colors are not good. So what if somebody puts a slideshow, something like this online? So what is our agenda for today? So I'm to check with you styles, the inbuilt styles which are there to make the document easier to navigate. Add alt text to visuals. Tell you what are the problems in that document. I'll tell you how you can save a PDF document. And I will also help you in finding accessible Word templates. And we will discuss accessibility checkers and how accessibility checker is good or bad. We will discuss all that. So today's things will include all these things: ease to navigate, hyperlink and displaying names, visual objects, avoiding colors as the sole means of presenting, and accessibility checker, and built-in styles. So this is basically the 6 things. If you consider these 6 things in your document, normally your document comes out to be quite accessible. And you will see after today's session that it's not hard to do at all. So let's jump back to our document. I hope all of you have that document. If you have not received that document yet, could you please click on the link? I have shared this document with you. I have shared a bunch of stuff also, but you will, yeah, this is the link Gina is sending you. Thank you very much, Gina. So let's go back to our screen, and I am going to share the application with you, which is the Word document. So when I started learning how to create a document in Word, my teachers told me that your heading should be, there should be a title for the page, and your heading should be different from the rest of the document. They also told me that, you know, heading 1 should be followed by heading 2, but they didn't go as far as heading 4 or heading 5, which we nowadays have. So let's see, there is a very nice tool which is there from our Microsoft. So it doesn't matter you are on Mac or you are on Windows, you can find it on both. If you click on the Review tab and click on Accessibility Checker, you find some errors, some warnings, and some intelligent services, or sometimes it is written tips. But let me tell you, this is a very nice tool which they have designed. It does not catch all the errors. There are way more errors in this document than the ones which are caught here. So we should not rely on it solely. We should know where to look for the errors, like the image which I showed you, the diagram which I showed you before, that there are 6 things which you need to consider when you are creating a document. So basically in errors, it is saying no header, and if I click on it, it says the table has no header row, whereas I can see that there is a header row. I will get to it later, but just keep in mind, here is this tool also tells us how to fix these errors, and it actually gives us the steps also, which I like about this tool. It is showing me the image or object is not in line, and the other object is also not in line, and then it is giving me some warnings, hard to read text, and if I click on it, it takes me to this, whereas honestly, checking the accessibility standards, even this is hard to read. And not just this, there is another very major error in this, because it is just displaying information only by means of color. So that is also an accessibility error. That color should not be the sole means for providing information. So this is what I'm trying to tell you, that this is a very good tool, but it is not comprehensive. It is not as, what we say, as it is very robust. If it is just the technical parts, it is just not human. Just like when you put online closed captioning in, if you have ever put videos up on YouTube, you have to go back into closed captioning and see what YouTube has done with your discussion. or your sound, because basically the dogs can be translated into like sometimes some accents are heavy, like I have. They are not, they don't get translated the way they should. So you need to go back in and see how it is translating it, how the closed captionings are being done. Similarly, here it is because machine is checking it, there are a bunch of errors. So first error, let's start with the first line. The first error here, this is just a text which is formatted differently. It is just normal text. If you go on Home tab, in Styles tab, you can actually in the on the Home tab, if you see Styles, it shows you that it is normal. So this should not be the case. It should be, and you can correct it with me, it should be a title. So this should be, and if it gets too big, what we can do is we can reduce its size. Suppose, let me tell you one more thing. Suppose you want to keep the same formatting and you want this to be title. What you can do is you can go to Styles pane, say new style, and make sure that this is the style which is there. Instead of normal, you can down arrow, and you can make it title or heading 1 or whatever you want. So you can keep your maybe I missed title here. Yeah, here we go. So we can create that as title. And if we have more than one title, normally there is only one title, but if there are more than one title, what we can do is we can say automatically update. We can even add that to the template. I'm not going to do that, but we can add that to template. And next time we create a page, it is going to take that from the template, and this style will be available for us. Here the colors, if suppose I want to change the color, I can change the color to whatever I like. I want to keep it so it matches the accessibility guidelines. I will tell you, you can actually check if the color is matching the guidelines or not. So I can do that, and I can say automatically update, and then it's going to make it a title, but the title will be, if I say heading 1, and it should be style 1, which automatically update, add to template, and let's do it again, and I will call it my title, and it should be available here. So now when I click on it, see, you can see my title is coming here. And if I want to make another line also my title, it will be very simple. I can simply, suppose this is my title, I can do it, and it can be done in a very short, sort of no effort kind of time. The second error is here. This should be heading 1. And again, you can see it is showing normal. So now I'm going to use, I've showed you how you can use headings, or you can create your own styles. I'm going to use the built-in. And if I don't like the size of the built-in, I can just reduce the size from here. And what is the and this is heading 2. And even if I don't like the color or something, I can always change its color, its style, uh, after assigning it that built-in style. And here is heading 3. And now you will say, why should we do heading 1, heading 2, heading 3? If there are 3 levels, we should be doing heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, because accessibility guidelines, they instruct us to use headings in order. So I should not be, for example, saying heading 1 and then jumping here to heading 3. It should be heading 1, then heading 2, and then heading 3. So here we go. And why should we have headings in the first place? The reason is those people who are using screen readers, they are going to have a lot of problems if the headings are not in order, or if there are no headings in the because the screen reader is going to allow them to jump from one heading to the next heading. And this is normally what they do, because those who can see, they normally just look at the page and they can figure out that this is the part of the page which they want to read, and this is the part which they don't want to read. Whereas um, if it is not the case, if they have not been, if they cannot see, what happens is that they can only guess what is there on the page. So you can actually create headings which are your APA style headings, and you can make sure that all the headings are the size which you want it to be. So it adds another advantage to your document. Now, if we save it and we go to our view, and we can actually see the navigation. And here, if we go to the headings, my options are gone. So it normally gives, so it jumps to the create template part. Then if I say weekly announcement, it goes to the weekly announcement. If I click on frequently asked questions, it goes to frequently asked questions. I can go back. So the headings and having heading is that somebody could jump and does not have to read like all the content in the page, and they can actually go from one place to another. It is like providing somebody who is using a machine reader to jump from one place to another. Okay, one problem which was coming when we were checking using accessibility checker was here on the images. If I clicked on the image, it said that it is not in line. And it is a very simple mistake. Normally what we do, and this is how I had also learned initially, we just position the thing. So we say, okay, position it to the right, and we don't check inline with inline text. So it is with inline text, and then we do to the right, and our error is gone because it is inline. Now you can actually move it wherever you want, but it is inline. Next error is the accessibility issue, which is the alt text. So right now, this is automatically generated text. Normally, it is very useless. So the second one is also very useless for creating a successful online classroom. Basically, this is the text which is automatically generated. So if I say generate a description for me, it is even more useless. So the best way is, and how did I get there? Right click and say edit alt text, and I go in and I say Sheridan. So I say Sheridan College logo. Okay, suppose you are keeping an image in the document which is just for decorative purposes. What you should do is you should not provide any alt text. You should give the empty quotation marks. And they can be single quotes or they can be double quotes. Or what you can do is you can say mark as decorative. So you should not provide some information here saying that this is the logo of Sheridan College, but it is there just for the decoration purposes. It is going to be still read by a machine, by suppose they're using NVDA or whatever software they are using to read. They are going to, it is the alt text which you provide, even you are providing it just for decorative purposes and just for the sake that people should know what it is. If you are just giving it as a decorative, then just make that. But there is a very big debate about it. I don't want to get into that, but I'll just let you know that some people, they are not fully blind. They are short-sighted, or they can still see some stuff. And they get really baffled by seeing some object on the screen which they don't understand, and their screen reader doesn't tell them what it is. So they sometimes say that provide the description in such a way that you can still have the decorative stuff there. You can say decorative logo of Sheridan College.
Humeda,
Yes.
there is a question. Jim is asking, how did you make the logo in line and then move it to the right? If you wouldn't mind repeating that.
Not a problem. I will sure repeat that. So there is, if you click on it, my page. If you click on it, there are two things. There is word wrap and the other one is positioning. So what you can do is you can click on inline. When you make it inline, then you can move it and you can actually position it using this. I want you guys to practice on this image. I want you to make it inline, and I want you to make it to right or left, wherever you want it to be. I want you to add alt text to it, and I will give you guys like a few minutes to do it. Hope you can do it. If not, let me. So I'm waiting. Which pop-up window?
when you click on wrap text, for example, we don't see the options that come up.
The options, if you right click on it, say edit alt text, this is the place where you edit the alt text.
So the pop-up.
You were saying text trap, it is if you click on the image, format pictures comes up. It is the dialog box which comes up when you are like on a certain object. So here you can see word wrap and you can see positioning. There is somebody who's saying that you can do positioning and you cannot move it. I have Office 360. So, there are certain options in this Office which is not in the previous versions. I can, but if there is an issue, what you can do, you can just move it. If it is inline, you can still move it wherever you want it to go. Right? I'm checking the chat box right now. Yes. Okay, very nice. So, next thing. The time flies by really fast when you are doing fun stuff. So, next thing. Here is the table. It looks good. Oh, I forgot to tell you one more thing. Suppose I want to take these frequently asked questions on the next page. Many a time, what we do is we just press enter, right? Who has done that? Several people? I did that so many times. But at that time, I didn't know what is the right way. So let me show you what happens. So if I do something like this and I check, the screen reader is going to read blank line, blank line, blank line, blank line, blank line, and blank line, so on, so forth. So what will happen that if somebody who is using a screen reader, when they hear so many blanks, what do they think? They think that it is the end of the page or end of document. So they don't bother going 2 pages of blank, 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 because every time it will hit a blank line, every time it is going to say blank line, and it is going to read it aloud for a screen reader person. So what is the way, how to do it? So you can go to insert, and in the insert, you can say page break, and it will automatically take it to the next page without adding blank line, blank line, blank line for the screen reader. So if we see right now, if I go on the home page, home tab, and I say show hide the enter marks, I will see only page break, not blank line, blank line, blank line. And I will automatically, when the screen reader will hit this blank page break, will automatically jump to the next page and start reading from here. So normally we forget this because we are used to creating things, let's say, I won't say wrong way, because this was the way we were taught. So we are used to of creating something in a certain way, the way we have learned. We just do not consider to design for the extremes. And sometimes in the back of our minds, we are also like those big aeroplane companies, we say, why should we put in so much effort in learning these things, whereas hardly anybody is going to use it? But really, that anybody it makes a difference for that person if you have even one student in your class. It is going to make a huge impact on the learning of that one student. Okay, now let's look at the table. If we click on the table, there are two tabs which appear. One is the table design tab, and the other one is the layout tab. So if we go to the table design tab, the first part, it says the header, add a header row. So this is the table design tab. When you click on the table, this tab appears, and I see that there are some questions coming. Okay, so somebody, Trish is saying that what if you just want to add a few blank lines? Really, if you are adding a blank line, I would normally add, the line spacing after the line. I use that tool as opposed to just hit enter several times. Because when you hit enters, you are definitely telling the screen reader software to say blank line, blank line. So you just need to consider that. You can actually, suppose I want to have some extra space here, I can always write the text and I can say add some blank space. So this way it is not adding enter, enter, enter. Otherwise I would have entered 3 times. And I can actually even go further. I can, if I go and go from here, let's see where and I am hearing some stuff. Yeah, hard returns are nice saying hard returns are problem, and we should not be adding hard returns for the formatting. This is exactly what I'm telling you, that do not add hard returns. Hard returns are always, there is another way, and the other way is that you can put shift and enter. So if you do shift enter, it still adds space, but see, if you see, it is not giving hard returns. It is just saying that it is an empty space. So see this, and if I press enter, this. So what did I do? I did shift enter. Shift is going to give you this small carriage return kind of a thing, not hard enter. So just remember that don't use hard enters, because hard enters are considered as blank, 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 not shifts. Shift enter allows you to add space. Okay, another thing which I've seen very often, and that is that when we want to make something double space. So we want to have something double space, what we do? We go in here and we press enter until it is making a double space, right? How many of us have done this? I used to do that, seriously, but this is a very wrong thing to do, because it just makes it visually double space. It actually, again, has what? It has enter, 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 enter. That means it is going to say blank line, and then it will start reading. Just imagine how hard it is going to be. See, you must be saying I'm making you imagine a lot, but this aren't what we always do. We are teachers. We imagine and we say, okay, how we can make the life of our students better. So the easiest way to do is highlight it all. Either go here if you are not one of the people who would remember. So you can say double space on home tab. It will make it double space. It will make it 3 times the space. Another way is to press Control or Command 2, depending on your system. If you are on Mac, it is Command 2. If you are on PC, Control 2. If you do Control 1, it comes back. If you do Command 5, it is 1.5 the space. If you do Command 5 again or Command 1, it comes back to the regular space. So double spacing is also yes, updating the software will make the options easier. Okay, so here what we were talking about the tables. I'm sorry, guys, I just got sidetracked because I started answering the questions also. Gina is doing a wonderful job there. So here, if you look at this table, it does not have a header row. Now, why is header row important? You need to understand that the screen reader is going to read teacher's last name. If there is no header row, it is going to say teacher's last name, teacher's first name, grade level, room number, book, reading books. And then it will go on to, for example, Smith, John 303 65. It's going to like continue from all the way from up to the last row. It is just going to, it will not tell the person that Smith is the last name and John is the first name. So if we have the header row option selected, it is going to say, for instance, it is going to say the last name and the last name. It is going to say Smith. It is going to say first name. It is going to say John. It is going to again say grade level, and then it will say 3, room number, and it will say 03. So it is going to take every time it is going to repeat this row. If you want this row to be repeated also, in some cases we need this row to be repeated. I don't think in this case this is the right way of doing it. But if you want to do that, you can even make the first column repeatable. So this option which you select, it does not make your table change at all. It makes your table change for the screen reader. Okay, that brings us to the next thing, which is the ordered list and unordered list. So when to consider numbering your list and when to consider bullet pointing your list. So I guess semantic wise, you should always number something when the order makes a difference. When this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. Because the screen reader is going to say, first, do something. Second, do this. Third, do this. So basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 makes sense when there is a certain order to the things. If you do not plan on, similarly, A, B, C, D, so forth, makes sense if there is order to the thing. If something has no order and it does not matter, you put red first or blue first or green last or green second, then it is a bulleted list. So just make sure that when you are putting numbers or making an ordered list using your alphabets, you are making an ordered list only when the order has a meaning. If you are having some different kinds of information which does not change its meaning depending where it is located, that means that you can have the bullet points. Okay, third thing, that is multi-level list. Multi-level lists should be used only when you have a main list, and inside each main list you have some kind of list again. It really doesn't matter that you have the main list and inside each one you have something. For example, we have first thing, second thing, third thing, and the third thing has nothing in it basically, but the first and the second has some points. So consider dividing your list in this way when you have multi-level list. And the multi-level lists are to be considered and kept to minimum because they're not very nicely translated, but it's still, like, if you have a small multi-level list, there is no harm in keeping that. So the screen reader can do that. It can take care of it. Hyperlinks. This is another very touchy thing which we sometimes, because we can see it, we say, what is the harm in it? And we just take the link from the website and we paste it into our documents. This is a very wrong way. So this way, although the link works, this is a wrong way. Similarly, we sometimes see read more. This is a very wrong way too. You will ask me why. But so let me tell you that screen reader is going to read every single word in it, including slash and the numbers and the index.html, which is going to be very annoying. And especially this is a still very small hyperlink. Sometimes it's a lot longer than this. So it is annoying. The second hyperlink is bad because this hyperlink is asking you to read more. And suppose we have 4 or 5 hyperlinks in our document, or even 2 for that matter. Screen readers can see hyperlinks separately. So just imagine the first hyperlink says read more, second one says read more, third one says read more. The person does not get to know what they are reading about. So there has to be some context. So the last example here for the hyperlink is good because it is telling us the link to cnn.com. So it's giving me something more than read more. So hope this is like clear. So how you can make a hyperlink, you can highlight it, right click on it, you can go to hyperlink, and you can paste the link. So make sure that your link is giving some kind of context where it is going to go. Suppose your link is opening a document, then I would put this link will open a PDF document, which will take you outside of this document, because basically the screen reader does not tell the user that it is going to be opening another document. And if it is a PowerPoint, I would love to see the link stating that it is going to be opening a PowerPoint. Okay, next thing. I am rushing because I see time is really short. So Gina, do I need to finish exactly at 1 o'clock? Do I have like a 15 minutes extra time?
No, you need to finish at 1 o'clock.
Okay, so I will try. I will rush.
Okay.
I have provided many links to Gina, and we will discuss those in a minute. So first thing is that you should not be using only color to indicate information. So here it says to open the computer in the lab, please use the password. that is in red and not the one which is in green. The one in green is the old password and word word. So, okay, first of all, if I'm colorblind, I cannot see this. If I have a device which is showing very small text, still I won't be able to read this. This one has a problem by color contrast as well. So this one is getting picked up even by the accessibility checker, because it is saying that there is a warning, hard to read text is this one. So this is a hard text. So suggestion is that if you're using colors, right next to it old password and right next to it new password. So it doesn't matter whether somebody can see red and green or any other color for that matter. At least they have access to creating getting the information. Okay, so if you have an accessible Word document, most of the time your PDF, if you are converting it into a PDF, is accessible. But it is not always. I have provided you with links to few more things. So I don't know whether you can see it. So let me stop sharing and let me share the screen again. So now I will be sharing my screen. So I will stop sharing and I will start sharing. This time I will share my entire screen. So I have provided you links to accessible template. So this is a template sampler. So when you are in Word document, if you are creating something from template, you can actually put here.
Meta, I
Yes.
just wanted to let you know I was able to extend the session until 1:30, but I do need to leave at 1, so I won't be here.
It's all right. It's
Okay.
all right.
Great.
Where did my... So I have provided you with accessible. It is not giving me the accessible templates. Normally, if you write accessible here, oh, yeah, it is giving. So you guys can see, so it provides you with several templates and several things. There is a very nice template, which I really like, which is known as accessible template sampler. So I have provided you with this link. I think Gina posted it already. If not, I will post. Gina, have you posted this link? Can
Yes.
you post all these links? Can you please post all these links? The accessible template sampler. Then there is a template example. So I have also provided you with a template example. Normally, students struggle a lot with APA kind of formatting. So what I normally do is I provide them with a template and I ask them to create their document inside that template. So I have given, this is the template which I normally use. I have provided you with that template. So you can find that. Then there is a diagram which is there. This is a good diagram to keep in your, keep it handy somewhere where you can actually see. Let me show you what it is. My desktop. Here we go. So this is the diagram which I've provided you with. You have seen that in that. What are the pitfalls basically? Where we can make mistakes. So these are the 6 things which if you take care of these 6 things, your document 99.9% is going to be accessible to students. Then I have provided you with tips. This is telling you what kind of styles you should use, what kind of font you should use, what kind of color. I did not discuss font size. Um, I just didn't have that much time. But here it is written what kind of fonts are accessible, what kind of colors to be uh, used, what kind of spacing should be there, columns and hyperlinks. And then I provided you two links. One is how to make your PDF into so PowerPoint into PDF, because I know many of us are dealing with this thing. I have been getting so many requests. People are asking me that they have done voice recording on PowerPoint and they want to convert it to PDF, how to do that. Some people are saying that my PowerPoint needs to go in as PDF because my students cannot have, like they don't have PowerPoint access to PowerPoint, so they cannot open it. So in that case also you should provide them with PDF. I know this is not the part of discussion for today's lesson, this webinar, but I just provided you with these two links because I provided these links to several people and they found them really helpful. And the next one is that if you have done voiceover on your PowerPoints, how to make into MP4, and then you can upload it to your LMS and students can download it and view your lectures, or they can just watch it online. So I hope you, we don't really have to go beyond 1 o'clock. Basically, I have, at the end, I've rushed. So hopefully you have all these documents, you can download them. And if you have a question, you can ask. And I guess we are done. I cannot stop sharing. I'm trying to stop the share, but it is not allowing me to stop the share. So it's all right. So tell me, anybody has any question, any comment, anything, you can raise your hand and become the moderator. And let me know if you have any sort of comment or a question or something. So if nobody has any question or comment, I would like to thank everyone, especially Gina, for helping me. And thank you all. For attending. I don't know, it seems my computer is hanging right now, but it's all right. We are at the end of it. So thank you so much for attending. And please stay safe and bye for now.